How's it going? This is Fox back again for sound design tutorials. Carrying on with my tropical flute sounds. This one is with Hive. Same chord progression from that Kygo track that I did with the Serum one. So this was it in Serum. This is it in Hive. Very similar. The reverb in Hive is excellent, as with all the effects that come with any Hive product. The reverb's better in Hive in my eyes than the one in Serum. It enabled me to get it a lot more how I wanted it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, personally I think this Hive one's a little bit better, but for now there is a link in the description to this patch if you want to download it for free. Make sure you subscribe up here if you like this or any of my other tutorials. So we are going to go ahead and initialize this. If I can remember how to do it. So we're going to use all 4 oscillators. We're going to route them all through one filter. So when it's initialized, this is my own personal init patch. You may need to turn off oscillator 2 and sub oscillator 2 here, but we want all 4 oscillators going into filter 1. Turn down the volume of everything we're not using so far. So oscillator 1 is a pulse. No, it's a square. We've got 2 voices unison. No detune or anything crazy like that. The volume we're going to have on maximum. This is the main body of the sound. Everything else after that is just contributing to the sound. We're going to pitch it up 1 octave. Sub oscillator volume we're going to bring in ever so slightly. We're going to change this to a sine wave. I've got the whole patch transposed by -12 for some reason. Obviously we don't need to do that. So yeah, this volume of sub oscillator 1, we're going to use an envelope to bring that in. It's going to be mod envelope 2. The reason for that is we're going to use mod envelope 1 to control the filter. So sub oscillator volume, the starting point you want around about 25. We're going to use mod envelope 2. So in the matrix section, if you set source 1 to mod envelope 2, drag it to the volume of sub oscillator 1. We're going to create a plucky envelope to bring this in. We want it pretty much full, around about 90, 88, something like that. Mod envelope 2. We're going to use this to do a lot more modulation later on. About 23, 24, 25%, around a quarter of the way is good. Yes, so oscillator 2 is a pulse. This one wants to be on 0 octave as well. The octave is 2 octaves down on sub oscillator 1. So the main amp envelope that everything's going through, we need to create sort of a pluck with this. Pretty standard pluck, decay of around about 47. No sustain, that means the decay is having total control over how long the notes are. Oscillator white noise for sub oscillator 2. So we've got all 4 oscillators in play now. Volume for this starting point we want around about 27. We're going to use this for sub volume for oscillator 2 as well. So it's controlling the volumes for sub oscillator 1 and sub oscillator 2. Pretty much the same, around about 80%. it sounds like a little click at the minute, that white noise, almost like a percussive hit, but when we get the reverb on in a bit, and also we're going to control it with a filter, it's really going to help make it sound like the sort of chug at the start of the flutey sound. So yeah, as I say, it's just the filter now that controls it all, and then some effects to sort of bring it all together. We're going to use a mod envelope to do some tuning as well. We'll do that first actually before we bring the filter in. So the same source, mod envelope 2, which is this plucky envelope here. We're going to use this to control oscillator 1 tune, which is the semitone of oscillator 1. This is the main oscillator. And we're going to pitch it down to 10. And we're also going to use it for the oscillator 1 sub tune, which is this, so the semitone for that. Same again. I say it all helps to give it that sort of natural sort of feel where when somebody blows into a flute, generally there's initial impact of breath or power, so it's changing the pitch drastically, like makes it higher pitch or lower pitch, and then it sort of levels out. I tried it pitching it up and I tried it pitching it down. It worked a lot better with pitching down and then coming back up to the original pitch. So we're going to create that pluck now, which really brings this sound together. Starting point for the filter, we're going to have around about 58. You're not going to hear nothing until we bring the envelope into play. By default, mod envelope 1, because it's highlighted, is routed to filter cutoff for filter 1, and we want to dial it positive, around about 90. And then we're going to create a pluck again. Important is we want a little bit of attack for this as well. What this does is it takes out the impact of the hi-hatty sort of sound of the noise. Instantly makes it sound more like a flute. I'm going to change the mode to dirty. Wasn't much in it in the modes, but yeah, there we go. So we want 2 effects, reverb then compressor. The effects I'm using I always drag to the top so it's easier to work out what you're using. So we're going to turn the reverb on. We're going to increase the size and the decay. Damping we're going to pull back to let more of the signal through. We want a tiny bit of pre-delay around about 26. The width we're going to make wider. The mix just over halfway, about 60. Compressor, we'll bring that into play, turn the compressor on. We want a snappy attack so it's coming into play pretty quick. The release we're going to leave as standard on dead center, and the amount going into the compressor, this is where you sort of drive it into the compressor. There you go, easy peasy, nice simple tropical house flute with Hive. I mean, you could add a delay. There you go, as I said, nice straightforward tropical house flute with Hive. As I said earlier, if you enjoy this or any of my other tutorials, please subscribe at the top left here. Any requests, you have to get in touch with me via my Facebook page. It is Sound Design Tutorials. You need to send me a private message with a YouTube link to the track telling me what the sound is and at what time it comes in. But for now, yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers.